aging population, smaller workforce, the fact that with the China Plus One pivot, a lot of companies now wanting to look outside China and build resilience in their value chains. And therefore, a lot of estimates now say that China may possibly never become the #1 economy. Even if it does, it will happen at a much later stage than was initially being predicted. Kishore Mehbubani, you've always been, especially from an Indian point of view, very soft on China and very tough on India.
Well, the number one, I would say that what makes me unusual is that I'm bullish on both India and China, and people often make a choice. Now, the story on China, all you have to do is go back and read what the Anglo-Saxon media told you 10 years ago about how the China story is over. It's a constant theme. It's a constant theme.
You don't think this time is different because of the factors that Ian just mentioned?
Well, there are answers to every one of the points you made. Now, let me give you a simple answer. Let me give you a simple answer. China is producing the largest number of robots in the world. The largest number. Now, that's clearly an answer that they saw long time ago to the fact that the labor force is diminishing. China is also producing the largest number of graduates in STEM, science, technology, right? And China has surpassed everyone's expectations. When the United States cut off exploration on space with China, how did China perform? It set up its own international space station. I'm only saying this, by the way. If China performs as badly as Ian says it is going to perform, we have nothing to worry. China, the story is over. But what happens if my predictions come true? And we'll find out in 5 to 10 years. And China really becomes the #1 economy in the world, then it's a different world. And we have to psychologically consider what that kind of world is. And by the way, surprisingly, I agree with Ian Bremmer that it won't be a G3 world. It'll be a very complex world. There'll be many shapes and nuances, lots of players, including, by the way, ASEAN in Southeast Asia, including the African Union. And I can tell you Russia will play a role too. So it'll be a very complex world. And the simple black and white divisions that we make will no longer operate in the world. And I must say, the one thing I have to disagree with Ian Bremmer is about the G7. It's a sunset organization. It represents the past. It's a postcard from the past. People will laugh at the G7 10 years from now when they continue meeting. Come on, let's get serious. The world has changed fundamentally. The reason why my book, The Asian 21st Century, has been downloaded 3.2 million times in 160 countries is because the world is psychologically preparing for the Asian century, which includes India in a very big way.
Ian Bremmer,
that's the story.
There's a pitch for downloading the book, but that aside, I want to give you a moment